Okay. Fuck. Oh wow, I'm really fucking loud. I am still getting used to this thing. Even though I've had it for like basically a month now. I'm still getting used to it. Um alright. This is my the dreaded outcome of doing this podcast. Me having to literally do it alone. If you didn't see my last uploaded video, I explained how I did have a episode recorded. But then when I was in the middle of recording another video, I legitimately ran out of space on my main hard M.2. I call it fucking hard drive because it's a fucking hard drive. Um, but I ran out of space and I accidentally deleted the podcast episode that I did with Let's Kick This. That's my second one with Let's Kick This. I haven't directly told him yet. Um, but yeah, so that kind of happened. And I just felt like, I needed to upload another podcast episode. And so here we are. Sorry, I keep adjusting my microphone. So, yeah. But yeah, here we are. Definitely definitely a weird feeling talking to myself. I mean, I do it all the fucking time. Like, we all talk to ourselves, right? Like, it's one of those things that makes us human is we talk to ourselves. We work things out in our own head by talking to ourselves. It's just really weird to be doing a podcast, because I enjoy conversation and it's not like I go telling everybody, "Oh yeah, I like having a conversation with myself. I will have complex and high IQ conversations with it's just like it's just weird. It's weird to have a conversation with yourself. Or I'm better yet, like in this case, it's not even technically I'm having a conversation with myself. It's technically I'm having a conversation to nobody. I'm literally talking to literally nobody. This is all just coming out of my head, and it's part of my no filter. Where I don't have a filter. I don't. I can make myself have one. Don't get me wrong. I have filters, but my general personality trait is no filter, and so it comes from that too because it's more like a improv. That's literally how I do my conversations. Is I improv my conversations. I don't go and think about like it's weird to me because like to me most conversations are improvic. That's not even probably a word, but I'm going to use it. Most conversations are probably utilize a lot of improv, but at the same time with me, it's like I don't know if that's true or not. Because like when I listen to other people have conversations, but then I like rethink about how I have conversations. A lot of my conversation is total improv. Versus when I compare it to two other people I know, I listen to their conversation. I'm like, I don't I don't think there's any improv going on. It's like they have that instinct of this is exactly what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it, but I don't have that. I just say whatever however I say it, which can lead sometimes to like not the greatest outcomes because then I come off as really either dick, like asshole-ish, or I come off as very rude sometimes, or I come off as just stupid when that's not actually the case. I just didn't do a proper job of explaining myself because, like I said, improv, it's the best. But it's like again when it comes to podcast episodes or podcasts in general, where it's just you're just listening to one dude talking. A lot of those podcasts, they will have like set topics about what they want to talk about. And, and sometimes they'll get themselves like timers essentially of, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about this subject, but then this is what I'm going to try and tie it up and lead into the other subject, I don't do that because that's not what I wanted this podcast to. I didn't want this podcast to set out to be something like that. I wanted this podcast to set out to be just a casual conversation about whatever. Just talk about literally whatever. Like there is no bar, no stopping point about what the conversation can be about. And that's what I really enjoy about it. It gives that freedom that most podcasts don't actually have, while at the same time being respectful and, still listening to logic and having common sense. But other than that, it's like it's a free ball. It's whatever you want it to be, which is exactly what I wanted it to be. I my goal when I was starting this, my goal ever since I came up with the idea of I want to be a podcast person was, I just want it to be casual. Obviously, there might be a time where things aren't so casual and things can be pretty intense, but that's part of it as well. Is you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know how it's going to end up being. You just know that as soon as you start, anything could happen, and I love that. It's also why I love having conversations, because you get to learn so much, not only about the other person you're having a conversation with, but just about a congillion things of information, down from the smallest of details to the biggest of facts. Like when having a conversation with one of my friends, you watch their motions, their facial gestures. You watch so much, and it's we have. God damn it, my brain. Already, I'm like, fuck. I keep rambling on. But again, this is another problem when it comes to no sense of direction. You don't know where to go as soon as your brain stops. Because when it stops, you're like, oh god, my creativity is gone. But it's like, it's so weird how we can easily recognize when somebody doesn't like talking about something or gets very, very, passionate about, like me. When I get very passionate about something, I get loud, I talk a lot, I smile a lot, and I move around a lot. That is how you can tell I'm very passionate. It's very easy to tell. But with some people, it's not that easy to tell. With some people, it's literally just like their eyes widen just a little bit more, or some people, they slightly move just a little bit more. It's like shit like that. And I've met people like that, and it's probably one of the weirdest but most interesting things out there. It's like, because no one's the same. I mean, you can have people very, very similar to you. You can have people very, very have the same quirks as you, but you're never going to be the same as one other person. So like I said, it's always fun to have a conversation with somebody and just learn so much. And I know I'm saying this as literally I'm doing a podcast episode with nobody on here. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's great. I love it. But yeah, no, I thought about asking somebody. Like, I legitimately thought about asking somebody about being on this episode, but I figured, you know what? It's inevitable at this point. It was bound to happen. Might as well just, get it out of the way now. See how I like it, And if I don't like it, if I don't like just listening to my voice when I edit for the very small edits that I do for the podcast, I'll just never do it again. I'll only do a podcast episode if I can get somebody. But I'm not getting those vibes yet. So, we're going to keep going. We're going to see how it's going to go. It's only been 9 minutes, and I have no idea what to talk about. I guess let's just talk about how lonely people can be, right? Let's talk about the sad stuff, okay? So, like, for me, for example, so I moved to a new city/town. It's technically a small town, but I don't know, town and city to me are honestly the same thing. Like, in a way, they're kind of the same thing. I don't know. I use them both interchangeably. I don't really pay attention to the proper usage of those words. I don't pay attention to many proper usages of words sometimes. It's how, big brain, I know. Anyways, so as I was saying, like, when it comes to me, ever since I moved to this new town, I just, all I've really been doing is working, playing video games, and doing stuff like this, which as you can tell, it's from my upload fucking history. I don't upload often. I've been streaming a lot more, by the way. Twitch.tv/ZJunior10. But, I've been streaming more often. Believe it or not, I've done pretty good, in my opinion, when it comes to streaming, because I barely stream, but I've been streaming way more often now. Although I really don't want to keep using Twitch. I might move over to YouTube, but we'll talk about that some other time. But that's really it's really all I do, because it's like I left a bunch of friends behind from where I originally came from Portland, and it was tough. So for this past year, I've made a couple friends, obviously. Like, I have made a couple friends, but when it comes to the difference between work friends and actual friends, I've made maybe 3 or 4 friends that I could actually hang out with outside of work, but we barely do because, one, I'm working, or they're working, or it's just a matter of I don't feel like being around people, which happens more often than you think. I actually really do not like being around people. I really don't. I don't know what it is. I mean, because I've known for a long time. I'm kind of an antisocial person. Very, very antisocial. The day that I fully 100% realized, wow, I really don't like people, was my freshman year of high school. Literally my freshman year of high school. So where I lived and where I went to school was very, very close to each other. Like, literally, I looked it up one day. It was literally just a straight mile away, which actually, believe it or not, is not that bad. It was like a 25-minute walk. Well, no, it was more like 35-minute walk, which is, again, not that bad. And it also depends on what time of day. So I'm gonna say more like just straight up 30 minutes. But anyways, depending on the time of day when you leave, because traffic. Even though you're walking, you're not in the car. There's still crosswalks, and that affects traffic. Whatever, right? But I was so used to just taking the school bus. I was so used to taking the school bus, because elementary and middle school. But for high school, that introduced public transportation. Now, here's the thing. Because literally I had to walk in one direction, never turn anywhere, never, use the crosswalk to turn anywhere. It was just one straight direction. So because of that, it wasn't really that difficult to get to school. And so I was like, I don't really need to get on the school bus. I don't really need to use the school bus. That's not necessary. Also, because of the fact that where I was living, so I lived in a condo complex. I wasn't in an actual neighborhood. Now, if I were to cross the bridge behind the condo complex, there was a wetlands. If you were to cross that bridge, that would, bridge our condo complex next to this neighborhood, that was a massive neighborhood that a lot of kids that I went to high school with lived. But here's the thing. That was like a 10-minute, 15-minute walk to the fucking bus stop because of exactly where it was. Maybe like 8-minute. But it wasn't fun. I never even walked there to begin with. The only reason I knew that's how long it took is because I took the bus one day to talk to my best friend. Just to, whatever, right? I didn't really want to take public transportation. I didn't really want to walk. So I just said, fuck it, school bus. And then I took the stop, went down. Yeah, it took me 8-9 minutes just to walk fucking home. I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm definitely never taking school bus. But anyways, the moment I realized I hated people, I hated the public scene, was public transportation, that in of itself. Okay, so I was sitting on the towards the front of the bus, okay? Now, during this time in the morning at like 7 o'clock or shit like that, because I would leave my house at like 6:30, 40-ish, right? And then I would, the bus would come. I would get to school around like 6:50, 7 o'clock. So for like 50 to 40 minutes before school started, before class actually started. So I was sitting in towards the front of the bus, and all of a sudden, this really, really, really big fucking dude, right, gets on the bus, and I'm like, oh no, there's 2 free seats next to me. Oh no. But then, here's the thing: is the person in front of him sat in the seat not next to me, but the one next to the empty one next to me, essentially, right? And then he saw that seat directly next to me and decided to sit down in it. Mind you, this man, okay, I don't have anything against bigger people, but here's the thing. This dude was not big. This dude was big. He was a big fucking dude. Not even muscular, just like, like fucking, this man would eat me in a heartbeat if the apocalypse happened. And it would be one simple, just simple. I'm going to eat this child, But yeah, decides to sit right next to me with his fucking Taco Bell. His Taco Bell. This man smelled, okay? This man absolutely, smelled like he hadn't taken a shower in 3-4 fucking days. Now, when you're a really big dude like that, when you're a big person like that, you sweat a lot, and that's understandable. I'm skinny as fuck, but I have very naturally very oily skin, so I'm sweating a lot. That's why I don't like hot weather, because I feel really uncomfortable in hot weather. Because, again, even for my size, my body temperature can be pretty fucking warm. I don't really have a problem staying warm. Honestly, I don't. But anyways, yeah, so this dude smelled so fucking bad. I literally had to hold my breath because of how, and then finally I got off the bus, and when you're in a place that smells really bad, or you're next to somebody who smells, and then you just you move away and you get that fresh air, and you actually appreciate that smell, that fresh air that doesn't technically have a scent, has a scent, and you're just like, yes. That was the moment. That was the moment in my head. I'm like, fuck public transportation and fuck people. That was the day I realized I hated people. And it's not that I really, really, really do actually hate human beings. I don't. I really don't. I understand we have flaws. I understand we all have bad days, and I understand shit can sometimes go, not the way we want it to go. But, oh my god, having a conversation with people sometimes is just really fucking hard. Because, the way I see it is I burn myself out when it comes to people. It's counterintuitive, because I love having conversations with people, right? So I will have if I meet somebody and make a new friend, I will fucking talk to them as much as I can, right? And then I burn myself out of them, and then I don't message them for or if I see them in person, I talk to them all the time. But if it's just straight messaging, I will not message them for 2 fucking months until I see their Snapchat story or some shit. I'm like, oh, I really like talking to this person. Let's try talking to this person again. And so 2 minutes later, yeah, I'll just be like, hey, what's up? And just act like, yeah, nothing happened. And they were like, well, damn, where'd you go? I was like, see, I used the excuse that I forgot about them, which is half right, half true. So see, what happens is when I burn myself out of talking to a specific person, I won't talk to them as much. Not because I forgot, but because I'm burnt out. Because after you talk to somebody for 2 weeks straight nonstop, you kind of understand, right? What they're gonna say, how they're gonna say, stuff like that. But and it doesn't really offer anything to me. It really doesn't. It doesn't sometimes. I mean, sometimes depending on the person, I'll talk to you every day. I don't goddamn care. But but it just I haven't met that many people like that, and so I don't talk to them as much, and then I do eventually forget about them because I didn't talk to them, and then I remember them, and then I talk to them, and then I keep in touch here and there. Because, like, to me, like, a month can go by really fast for me. Because, again, I'm working all the time, right? But, like, I don't see weekdays. I don't see days as days. I don't see a Sunday as a Sunday. I see them as, am I working that day or am I off that day? The weekend, I don't fucking care about the weekends. I never even cared about weekends. I don't care. Most holidays, I just don't care about. Like 4th of July. It's 4th of July today when I'm recording this. I do not give a fuck about 4th of July. Also, it is really hot in my room, and so I'm going to open a window because I am literally dying right now. Like I said, I don't like the heat. The heat can suck it in. Wow, yeah, no, that I don't feel any cooler air from out there. Well, I guess I'm just gonna suffer, which I'm used to suffering. But anyways, as I was saying, it's like, so yeah, I burn myself out of people. And so when it comes to like being here in a small town, you know, it's like, it's weird because, you know, again, I'm used to being in a really big city. So small towns, you know, you have your regulars that you'll see all the fucking time, right? And so it's so weird because sometimes I literally just, I don't know what to say. Because it's like, and they already know what I'm going to say. They remember my conversation from 2 fucking days ago I had with them. And I'm just like, wait, you remembered that? You know, it's like, wait, you actually fucking remembered that? Because there's not a lot of interactivity. Because if you live in a small town, you know that person. You know them. Given enough time, you know that fucking person. And that enough time is pretty quick. You know, so I've been working graveyard for like a month and a half now. Almost, basically 2 months, somewhere around those lines. But yeah, like ever since then, the regulars got... I've trained them to say good morning because around like 2, 3 a.m., you know, that's when the loggers and shit like that, you know, the morning people start to come in. So I always say morning when they come in. I've trained, and when I first started working, they would never, they didn't say, I had to say morning for them to say morning back. Now they all say morning. Did I do that? Was I responsible for them saying good morning without me having to say good morning? I've turned into the one that says good morning into the listener. What the fuck did I do wrong? Did I break it? Did I break them? Did I train them? Did I train a dog? I don't know. But like, it's just stuff like that. Like, it weirds me out, but it fascinates me. Yeah, no, it's weird. It's really weird being in a small town and not being able to make as many friends as, you know, I'm used to. I'm used to making like a shit ton of friends. I'm used to making a new friend like once or twice every 2 days. Here, it's not that much. It's really not that much. And part of it is also because of the fact that I'm very, I don't want to say like I'm part OCD, but like not in like the generic way. Like, I'm very, you know, once I get into doing something, I'm gonna keep doing it like that until I absolutely have to change, you know. It's like you know, when I walk home, I take a very specific path. Unless something blocks me from that path, in which case I change paths. But I don't like it. I have a fit about it. And it makes me feel uneasy. So, like, going to the bar, for example. I'm 21, by the way. I'm 21. I'm legally allowed to drink. All right, let's get that out of the way before all people are like, you look like you're 12! But, like, I can go to the bar and went on my days off if I wanted to and meet people. But at the same time, it's like, I've only done that once or twice. I'm not used to it. I don't particularly enjoy it because I don't like drinking alone. So there's, you know, that's another reason. But, you know, it's like stuff like that. I don't do it because it's not my normal routine. My normal routine is being at my computer. My normal routine when I'm home or when I'm off is being at home. That's my normal routine. I don't like it. I've tried to change my ways of routine when it comes to trying to make friends and shit like that, which I work at a convenience store, which I see a lot of creative people come in, some of them I'm like, all right, you're cool. Some of them I'm like, I want to marry you. And then some of them are like, I want to kill you. It's like, it's one of those things where it's a range of, people. And, so I do meet a lot of interesting people, but that's not making a friend. That's just having, that's just not even an acquaintance. That's like below acquaintance. Like, of them, they know of you. You have basic conversations when you see each other, but it never goes any deep level. It never goes anywhere. It's just, oh, hey, how's it going? And then move on with your life. I'm so used to making friends that I can't make. It hasn't happened, and I'm still getting used to it. I'm still adapting to that. I am a city person. As much as I hate big cities, I am a city person. Like, I love living in a small town. I really do love living in a small town. It's quiet. I can keep to myself when I want to keep to myself, which is a lot of the time. But when the times that I don't want to keep to myself, I do actually want to, socialize. There's not many people. Or there's I meet people who I want to socialize with. They don't want to socialize with me, which I don't blame them. Have you seen me? I look like I'm going to murder somebody for shits and giggles, which, I mean, we're not going to go there. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. It's really, 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 really fucking weird. But again, I've just gotten used to it, I don't even know how else to put it. I'm just, at this point in life, I'm, content with what I've done. Which is weird to say, because again, like, yeah, you're only 21. How can you be content with everything you've done? Well, it's like, the way I see it is, I've made all the friends I wanted to make. I've kind of done, and in the social department, I've done what I've wanted, what I've set out to do. I have a shit ton of fucking friends, both in person and not in person. By the way, when I was saying that I have friends both in person and not in person, what I was meaning was I've made a lot of friends from meeting them in person, and I've met a lot of people from like online. So that's what I meant. Even though I know I was saying like, oh, hey, wow, look at that. You saying you don't have that many friends where you moved to. Like, that's what I meant, to clear up the air. I have, so many fun interactions. I've had so much fun with a lot of people that I think I've just kind of burned out of socializing in general for the time being, Like, when it comes to social, like, I love socializing. I still love it. I don't want to, I guess I say burn out for lack of a better term, but I've set out what I wanted to do when it comes to socialization. For now. There are still certain things, areas, where I'm like, no, I'm definitely still socializing. But, it's definitely set up. Now I need to try and focus on something else. But here's the thing, though, is that I don't want to go set up something else because of the fact that it's like, let's say you make a book. You write a book, right? You write a book, and it's the most perfect book out there. But you still have that feeling of, I could have done better. I could have changed this. I could have done that, That's where I'm at when it comes to socialization. I've done such a great job of socializing. Even though I'm antisocial as fuck. But once again, I still feel like I could have done so much fucking better. And obviously I could have done better in certain situations, certain areas, but it's like, I'm not, it's not the number of friends I have, and it's not the quality of friends I have, it's the areas of friends. And when I say areas of friends, it's like, okay, these are my anime friends, these are my Yu-Gi-Oh friends, these are my regular, like, it's gaming friends, like, it's stuff like that. Like, none of them would ever be able to mesh together. And my dream is like to have like such a really big group of friends that even they can all just, mesh together, and it'd be a fun experience. Like, that is my goal, when it comes to friendship and making friends. But I haven't done that yet, and nor do I think I ever will. And so it's one of those things, is like, do I like just straight up don't try, or should I just keep trying, even though that I know for a fact that it will never come to fruition. And it's scary to think about. It's scary to mentally forward a goal, knowing that it'll never probably happen. It's like relationships. You could get into trying to get into a relationship, and you'll never be satisfied, because you either end up meeting people that just you don't like, or they don't like you, or you don't want to put enough effort into this particular person, or they don't want to put any effort into you, anything like that. It's difficult as fuck, because you know what you want, what you need, but you can never get it. And you're not going to be able to get it for a very, very, very long time, if ever. And it's shocking. It's really shocking how just gung-ho we are to making and accomplishing goals. Because a lot of people, we all do this. Everybody has at least once, especially in their adult life, made a impossible goal. A goal that, would not be able to be accomplished unless you went above and beyond plus some. It's like we make these like so impossible goals. Goals. English. But like we make these like just weird goals that will go off and probably never be accomplished, but we still do it. Why do we still do that? It fascinates me about how we still do that, even knowing that it may never come to fruition. I think it's just like a part of just like a fact that we don't want to admit that we can't get what we want, that we want to do whatever we can to get exactly what we want. But again, it's not how life works. It's a matter of putting in a lot of hard work. But even then, some of those goals, it doesn't matter how much hard work, it doesn't require any hard work. It just requires luck. Being a really lucky person. Unfortunately, I am not one of those people. I am very, very unlucky when it comes to life and just making not the greatest decisions all the time. Which I think a lot of people probably run into, not making the greatest decisions all the time, But it fascinates me. It's so fascinating. I love how I turn into like a semi-fucking TED Talk. Like, again, I started recording without even thinking about what I wanted to talk about. I started recording without even just being like, maybe these are some things I could potentially pull out of my butt when it comes to the conversation. But nope. It's instantly gone to, wow, the human brain, the human mind is so fascinating. Ugh. But yeah, no. Yeah, sorry for the abrupt ending. I was going on talking about like just shit that didn't matter. I didn't think I started talking about like a game that pissed me off and my experience with it, but I figured that it didn't fit with the, I don't want to say core message, because there was really no core message to this, but it didn't fit the theme I was trying to go for. I literally ran, like I said earlier in the episode, I literally had no plan on what to say. I just knew I wanted to put out something, and so that's where I went to, was lonely, just shit like that, right? But yeah, so this is where it's gonna be ending, whatever term, past, freight, fuck, I don't know. I'm tired editing this. I'm just tired in general. I have to work tonight, so I'm just like, eh. But yeah, it's just where I'm gonna end it. If you do want to listen to my ramblings about how this game pissed me off, I will most likely be uploading that as its own separate little thing. So I'll probably name this like part whatever 0.5, you know, and then the next one's gonna be like the rest. It's gonna be the rest. It's just gonna be ramblings about this fucking the game. But yeah, so if you liked listening to me, if you liked, or if you didn't like listening to me, I don't care. But if you like listening to this, if you like watching this or whatever, please go ahead. Please like and subscribe. It really does help out. This is something I am very passionate about, even though, yes, I know I barely upload. It's me barely uploading. It does not mean I do not care about this. It just means I have a lot of anxiety about it, and I only want to put something out there that I know I can be truly proud of, which I'm not, I'm proud of this, but I'm not truly, it's whatever, right? But I want to put out something that I know I could be like, yeah, people might enjoy this one. So, yeah. So that's it for me. Like I said, I'm going to be uploading my ramblings of a video game here within probably the next couple days or whenever I'm available. But yeah, hope y'all have a wonderful night/day, and I'll see you next time.